So over the last 7 years, I've spent $35,000 on Airbnbs. $25,000 of that was during the 2 years that I was traveling continuously. So I was traveling full time for my sabbatical, and then after that, I was still traveling while I was looking for a job. So I'm going to break down my top 10 favorite Airbnbs. Some of them are clear favorites, and some of them are a little bit more nuanced. So I'm going to go into what my favorites are, why they're my favorites, and I'm even going to share how much I spent for them. Keep in mind, a lot of these prices were 2 to 3, sometimes 4 years ago, so those prices are probably completely different. If you see me looking over here, that means I'm looking at my screen and I'm capturing the screen, so that's what you're seeing me looking off into. So, Airbnb is where I've spent a lot of money, obviously, during my travels because that's what I was booking mostly. I did stay at hotels, I did stay at some places that weren't on Airbnb, but for the most part, I stayed um, on, not on, I stayed at Airbnbs just because it was easier. I needed amenities like actually being able to cook, being able to work out, being able to work because I wasn't completely just living my best life while I was traveling. I was trying to work on some projects, trying to think about like what my next move is. So I did need a desk. So usually when I'm booking Airbnb, the three things that I care the most about are it has a washer and dryer, it has a desk or somewhere for me to work, and then it has a kitchen that I can utilize. Extra things that I do like are like gyms and pools. So a lot of these have gyms and pools. And depending on where I'm going and for how long, I want them to be in a very central location. So that's what I was looking for. Alrighty. So Airbnb, as you can see here, I look at Airbnbs randomly. It's not something that I'm a stranger to. So I've spent $35,000 on Airbnbs, and here is my receipt for how much money I've spent on Airbnbs. A lot of Airbnbs throughout the years, 2023 and 2022 were definitely the heavier years, but I've also spent money on Airbnbs before that. My very first Airbnb was in London for work for a month. So spent a lot of money. Again, about $25,000 of that was purely for like my own solo Airbnbs while I was traveling for my sabbatical. So as you can see over here, this is like more of a quick visual glance of the Airbnbs I've stayed at. It's a little bit more organized. Like I've stayed everywhere from Montreal to Birmingham, UK, not Alabama. I've stayed in Cartagena. I've been in Guadalajara, Grosseles, St. Lucia. This was a beautiful Airbnb. So I've stayed at a lot of different places. So, number one on my list, and this is definitely one of my favorite places. Actually, give me 1 second because I can't find it. Okay, number one on my list here is Bangkok. Bangkok was really a nice Airbnb and it was a great price. The host was amazing, Toan. I think that's how you pronounce it. He's great. Like that 4.95 that he has for his Airbnb is well worth it. The location was actually tricking me because when I initially looked at it on Airbnb, the location was showing up somewhere different than where it actually is. So like now it shows up properly. When I booked it, this was like when I might have been the first or second person to book this, and the location was showing like far different. Like it was showing me like near Lumpini, but it's like all the way over here near En Nut. But yeah, so let's look at the place. It's small, so keep in mind this is actually a pretty small Airbnb, but I personally loved it. It had everything you need. Like you have a little couch, you have a little table, you have a kitchen, you can cook, you can wash your clothes, dry it. The bedroom was really, really nice. This bed, oh my gosh, this bed was so, so comfortable. It was so nice. I liked waking up to the sun. But the one problem waking up to the sun is you didn't have a choice. You had to wake up with the sun because the door to the bedroom is actually glass. So you pretty much just had to wake up. So it's almost like a studio plus, but it's a one bedroom. As long as you have a door, I count it as a one bedroom, but it's definitely like, hey, here's a glass door. So you see the bed as soon as you go in. But I love this place. It was just clean, new, modern. The community was amazing. Like I used to go walk ducks in the afternoon. I'm not walk ducks. I used to go walk to feed ducks in the afternoon with all of the other neighbors because it has like or had it's no longer there. I found out it had like a little place you can feed ducks and you could feed like farm animals and fish. It was like a really cute little track. People would walk around, and it's so hot in Bangkok, so everyone would just go down there in the afternoon. Had a cute little gym. I love this gym because I used to sit on the bike or stand on a treadmill, and I'd watch the monks. So the monks were across the river, and I would just watch them working all the time. It was just a really memorable place to be because it was so unique. But yeah, like skip past all this. This is super relaxing. Again, across that river, there are a bunch of monks over there. This location had a shuttle that took you to the train station. So while it wasn't like right on a main street, you had like a little shuttle that would take you wherever you needed, and it would go to the train station. I think it also went to the grocery store, or you can get a tuk tuk because you can get a tuk tuk for like $2 in this area. They'll just drop you right where you need it in that area. So it was super convenient, even though it was like a very planned neighborhood. It wasn't right on the street, definitely like very different than what I initially wanted. But I love this place. It's called Hasu House, and there's like a bunch of other like little communities there. This pool was amazing. It's nice and long, and it's not too deep, but it's not too shallow. And it's so hot in Bangkok. This felt so good. And just look at how cute it is. This was definitely like one of my favorite places. So I'm gonna keep going because I'm gonna be here talking all day long. But let's just go through the pictures. But yeah, that's the shuttle right there. It will just pick you up, and it was secure, so there's security everywhere. I love this neighborhood because there's like a little mini mall down the street. This is what I was talking about where I used to go feed the ducks. And my favorite 7-Eleven vending machine and this towel bin. I used to get drinks like so often. Honestly, this was not good for my health, but I was so happy. So this was why I loved it. Just it was just so convenient. Habito, that's the mall. Get my $2 pad thai. It was just a really good time, and it was very convenient. So I loved it. And there's like a ton of food trucks down there too. So this was definitely one of my favorites. I love that place. I like that so much. My next one, so clearly there's a number one, but like the rest of them is kind of like mushed together, not really ranked super well. The next one was Cartagena. Cartagena isn't necessarily my favorite city, but I really liked this apartment. It was just really well appointed. It was a high rise building. So, whereas the one in Bangkok was like the fifth floor, or maybe I was on the third floor, this was on the 23rd floor, which was terrifying, low key, because the building would sway because it's a part of Cartagena, I think Boca Grande, where it's like both sides have water. So the breeze would just flow straight through. So anytime you were like actually, in the building, you could feel it sway. You could feel it sway. It was a little terrifying, especially because like a couple months earlier, I was in an earthquake, and I just like didn't need that in my head. Anyway, so this place was cute. They had some good decorations. I definitely accidentally broke one of these bunnies. My bad. I did pay her for it. Did I pay her? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I paid her for it. I was just like getting ready to leave, and the thing fell over. I'm like, are you serious? But yeah, this was a cute spot. Um, my computer's taking forever to load. Had a little balcony, which I rarely was on because I'm terrified of heights. I like a good view. I don't want to be that close to nature up there though, but it was super cute. I remember I had like my birthday dinner up there, washer and dryer, things you need. So as you can see, it's a really tall building, but it was a good location. The building was very secure. The security was nice. This particular person, they definitely put a lot into decorating the Airbnb, so that was really nice. And they had a safe. Yeah, this was one of the few places that had a safe. So I like this one. This was Cartagena, Colombia. So the next one here, this one was, I just kind of accidentally ended up in Monterrey. I didn't plan on going to Monterrey. This is Monterrey, Mexico. I didn't really plan on going to Monterrey. This one was actually just like, I don't know. felt good in my heart, I guess is the best way, because the unit itself was kind of small. They had like this tiny, tiny little mini fridge. It was just very compact, but this building was secure. Okay. Like the one in Cartagena and the one in Bangkok, it had a lot of amenities, it had all the things I needed, but the washer and dryer wasn't working when I was there. But this one has like a really comfortable bed. This bed's comfortable and it had two bedrooms. When I was there anyway, this bedroom was actually staged as a like little movie theater room. So they've changed it since I've been there actually. This is different. And it actually makes more sense as a movie theater room because what you don't see behind that TV over to the side is the fact that there's a big window that doesn't lead outside. It leads to like a center courtyard. Like like if you've ever been to the Hyatt Regency Atlanta where there's like a center courtyard, I forgot what it's called, but like you could see people coming off the elevator. So you might not want that as your bedroom. But this was a nice space. I definitely had a good time. They had a great location because you can just walk everywhere that you needed, and it was very, very, very secure. Like the amount of effort it takes to get in and out that building, trust me, you're fine. You're secure. You're a little too secure, but it's walking distance. Oh, this was the view. This is the view from the balcony. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty, especially at night. Oh, it's so pretty. One small annoyance I remember was like there's a club nearby, so it's kind of loud. But you can walk to like the central part of Monterey. You can go to all the little sites and stuff. Like all I did was walk. Monterey is actually hot. It's hot as hell. Okay. It's so much hotter than I thought. It's very similar to San Antonio, I would say. Like they even have like a little river walk kind of thing. So it's really nice. But they have, yeah, this rooftop. It has a few amenities. It's a really nice building. It's a really cool place. Very secure, very central. There's like a mall attached to it, which is part of why it has so much security. So you can just like go to the mall if you're hungry. It's literally right there. I think I ate at this restaurant. Go back to this one. Yeah. I think I ate here. Yeah. Forgot what I got. But it's a really cool little place. You have a lot of things in the building and you have a lot of stuff nearby. And you can walk to most of the sights and sounds that you want. So shockingly, I ended up liking Monterey, which for me I didn't think I would because it's just kind of a very Americanized part of Mexico, but it was nice. I think I will probably go again one time. Okay, so this one was that this Airbnb is in Medellin. I love Medellin, whatever. If you're Colombian, you probably say Medellin. Ignore this pop up. But yeah, this particular Airbnb was very Airbnb like. Like the actual building has a ton of Airbnbs and it's kind of catering to the Airbnb crowd for better or worse. So it's like an apart hotel and it caters to Airbnbs. It definitely has like that kind of appeal. This unit I loved. Oh yeah, I forgot to actually tell you guys how much I spent on all these. So I'll go back and tell you guys how much I spent. So this particular hotel, apart hotel, Airbnb, whatever, is a hotel and there's Airbnbs. So some people live there, like there's condos. It's kind of confusing actually, especially when you're checking in. But this one was super nice. Like this picture is crap, but it's actually a nice little space. A lot of the Airbnb hosts like are losing money because they have horrible pictures, but it's a nice space. It's like the living room area. There's no TV out here, if I remember correctly, but there's one in the bedroom. There's like a washer and dryer in here. What I wish you can see, or at least see from these pictures, is how pretty the view is. Like, she literally is not selling this apartment as much as she could. It has a safe in it, so that was nice, especially because it felt like there's just so many Airbnbs in here. So this had a lot of amenities. Like what you don't see is it has an amazing gym. Like it's a huge gym. Let's use the word amazing loosely, but it's a huge gym. It has like a cafe downstairs. It has a lot of like those types of amenities. Everything you need is here. But what you can't see, and if you could just see the view, is like a beautiful view of the mountains in Medellin. You can see like right below it was a university. I used to watch their soccer games, football, whatever you want to call it. So I used to watch their games at night because they'd play at night, and I'd watch like the train go by because you see train tracks, you could see like the highway, you could see pretty far. It was an amazing view. Like I honestly don't know why she didn't put a picture of the view here because all I did half the day was just look out this window. There's like a huge window right here. There's a pretty big window in the bedroom as well. So that was why I really liked this particular place. But because it was a park hotel, there were a lot of guests that were just rude. Like they were just like so inconsiderate and they did not have manners. Like people just like not following the rules of the building, people treating the gym like it's their own home gym. It's just one of those things where you're like, y'all have no home training. But the building itself was really nice. The location was pretty good. So the location was very hilly. If you know Medellin, you know it's like a very, 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 very hilly. So this is where we were, El Poblado, like kind of at the edge of El Poblado, not in the middle of it. So you couldn't really walk to anything. Like you pretty much had to take a Uber or Didi or a taxi or whatever to get everywhere you want to go. Like I love Medellin, but it's one of those places where it's like sometimes getting around can be inconvenient, like not expensive, just inconvenient. So we're like here. The next one is actually the very first Airbnb I stayed on my trip. And this one was like very near and dear to my heart. If you see this view right here, right there, where there's like that building right below it, that's a mariachi restaurant. So I used to listen to mariachi every night. I think it was 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock. I don't remember. But every single night, Casa Mariachi had them little mariachi situation. So I used to listen to mariachi every day for 6 weeks, every day for 6 weeks. There's like a mall nearby. This place was like super central and super easy to get around to. So I definitely really, really like that. Um, the views were good on both sides. This is the other side. This is the mall. This place was like a 2 bedroom, 2 bath, but like it was a really 2 bedroom, 1 bath. It was a really small second bedroom that I use as my office. But you can kind of just see like it was pretty. Yeah, so this is a smaller bedroom. This is the 1 bedroom. I just use this one as the office. Sometimes I had 2 bedrooms, and the reason I did that mainly because I wanted an office space. So when I got places that had 2 bedrooms, it's usually because they had an office in the second bedroom, and the price differential was like pretty non-existent. So some places were pretty affordable. This little tiny desk is what I use. I ended up not using this that much. It was kind of a waste, but whatever. I already paid for it. This was a bedroom. I think this bed was like not really that comfortable, but it served its purpose. You had a washer and dryer. This was a great view out here. This is where I was when I experienced that earthquake. They had an earthquake in Michoacan. So September in Mexico is not where you want to be. And it's like a urban legend at this point. I forgot that September 17th or September 19th. It was one of those days, and it was like, yeah, it was like it's around the time of their Independence Day that they always have an earthquake, and it's usually like bad earthquakes. This one, thankfully, was not in Guadalajara. It was in Michoacan, but you can feel it in Guadalajara and Mexico City. I remember laying on this couch, and I'm like, am I okay? I feel like the world's moving. And I'm like, oh, it is. The world is indeed moving. But yeah, this place was super cute and super like nice for a couple or a single person like me. I definitely quite enjoyed it. The host was really nice. I think she's from Miami, so I like this one. They have a good pool and they have a good gym. Again, like a lot of these places, they just don't put the amenities in the pictures. Like, I don't need to see the whole neighborhood. I need to see the amenities of the building. Yes, it's listed, but seeing it makes a difference because they had a pretty nice gym and the pool was pretty cool. I never got to use the pool because I think it was closed then, but like the security here was super nice. Like, they're super good people. She's a good host. I think a few small issues that were super annoying, but like nothing crazy. So I actually wish I'd rated her a 5, not 4. I remember this because I was going back and forth on it for a while. It's just more annoying stuff, but I'm a bit of like a perfectionist when it comes to certain things. And if I don't sleep well at night or like I'm hearing noises all night because the fridge had an issue, I was hearing noises all the time, then I'll give you a 4. I'm never that person giving nobody a 1 or 2. Like, what the hell's wrong with you? But anyway, the next place. This place, I don't even think I rated because I was kind of annoyed This place is beautiful. Just look at these pictures. It's beautiful. It's 2-story. It's this like very nice looking space. I'm pretty sure this is like how it was sold to the host. Like a lot of these places, especially like Malaysia or Thailand, what you see here is how it was built. This is how they bought the Airbnb. So this is what they purchased. They didn't really decorate it. That's just how it came. So this place is beautiful. It has 2 stories. Upstairs is a bedroom, has 2 bathrooms, 1 bedroom. It's a good size. The building itself has beautiful amenities. The fridge and all the stuff is like there. It's always nice to have that. This is the downstairs bathroom. I think downstairs bathroom. You go upstairs and you're like, okay, this is super cute. This like attracted me immediately because I was looking at this place and somewhere else. But I was like, this is just so cute. Like I really like it. I think this is the upstairs bathroom. I remember that because there's like a door that goes outside from the shower. Don't ask me, but there's a door that goes outside from the shower. This bed this bed is the most uncomfortable bed I've ever had the misfortune of sleeping on in my entire life. Like truly just why does this bed exist? I don't know. I don't know. I have no clue. It's a horrible bed. It was so uncomfortable. The second night I was like, can I just get a mattress pad? I asked the host, like, can I get a mattress pad or something? Tell me why. The host sent me I called it a waffle. So that's why I referred to it for like weeks. I called it a waffle because instead of sending me, a queen size mattress topper, which clearly this bed is a queen size mattress, they sent me like a crib size mattress pad to lay on. And don't get me wrong, that's the only reason I slept while I was at this apartment was that crib size mattress pad that I don't even know. It probably was like a couch cushion or something that they sent me. Literally, it was just the most low lift, lazy solution to the problem I've ever seen. And without it, I would have suffered because this bed was so uncomfortable. I probably would have canceled. Well, I couldn't cancel, but I probably would have tried to cancel because this bed was so uncomfortable. I'm not talking like, oh, the bed's firm. I'm talking this bed just has nothing. It's a rock. You're sleeping on a rock. There's nothing there, and it's low. It's like very Asian style, but I'm like, this bed is truly the most uncomfortable thing I've ever slept in my life, and I've slept on a floor before, so that tells you a lot. Sorry, I had to go on a tirade about this bed because I've been thinking about it still for 3 years. I hate that bed. But the actual building was nice. um it looks great. Like, look at this, very Instagram worthy, like very very nice. But this pool when I was there was so nasty. This building is not well maintained, like at all. They bank on the fact that, hey, you're looking at the towers, Petronas Towers, you have this beautiful view of Kuala Lumpur, like this is what you have. But they don't maintain this building at all. So it's not just the host, don't get it wrong, it's the whole building. Like the building had insects, which it's Malaysia, okay, there's a lot of bugs in Malaysia, but like you have to maintain a building, you have to do pest control, you have to make sure like you clean your pool. The pool was green. I did not get in that pool. See how beautiful that pool is? I love pools, but I was not gonna get in that pool. I thought my skin was gonna turn a different color if I got in, so I did not get in. This gym was amazing though. Definitely that girl. This gym was amazing. And it was actually kind of nice because no one ever really used it. So I could actually just work out in peace a lot of times. So this was a nice gym. The building has great amenities. It's right next to a mall. As you can see here, they put that's right near the train. So it's like a great Instagrammable building when it's clean. And it's very central. It's very easy to get around. It has a grocery store in the mall next to it. Like literally, you walk across the street, there's a mall, the grocery store is on like the bottom level, groceries done. But the experience was so like subpar for what it could have been. It was annoying because like it could have been so great, but it was just like a weird experience. I still love this though. Like I don't think I'll ever stay at this Airbnb ever again, but I would stay in this area again and I would maybe look at another building that's better maintained. So like that 4.4 they have, yeah, like I'm pretty sure a lot of people have come to the same conclusion as I did. Like, yeah, it's nice, but it's not well maintained. So my next three, no, four, my next four are lower in the ranking, but not so because they're bad. They're just not um, as central, as nice as some of these other options, but they're still good in my heart. So next one is Oaxaca. I love Oaxaca, so that's how you pronounce that if you've ever seen it and was confused. This host, Andres, he is the best. He is a very good host. He's very caring. He left good recommendations. He made sure to check in on me. He like even though I think there was a lockbox, he like came to let me in, showed me around, explained everything, went in, whatever. Actually, he took one of my suggestions because one thing I told him when I was staying there, this particular room used to be an office. Like this building used to be his office, and he converted it to an Airbnb during the pandemic. So this room used to have office equipment, like there was a desk and chair and all that stuff. So it was meant for that. But the problem is the internet back here sucked. So I was like, I think you should just convert this to a bedroom because that would make sense as a bedroom. It's right near the bathroom and it's quieter because what's actually originally in the bedroom is kind of loud and the loft space is kind of hard to like not hard, but like you might not want to go up and down to go to sleep. So he took one of my suggestions, and I love that. Like I love when people listen and they understand why you're saying what you're saying. So this was an office, but now he made it into a bedroom. So I love that. This is what was originally a bedroom, or this is what was a bedroom when I was there. So this is what I slept on. I just thought it was cute that he put out these little decorations and it was like a little rose and a gun type thing. I'm not a gun girl, but I just thought it was really cute. But this particular room faces the main road, so you can hear everything all night. Whereas this room has a door, so you can close it and get some peace at night. But anyway, so I thought it was nice that he listened to me. This space definitely looks very unassuming, I would say. So this is loft space up here, so he moved the desk up here. So it looks very unassuming, but why this space is really good is the location. You're literally in the middle of Centro in Oaxaca. You can walk to everything. You can get to everywhere you need to by foot. You don't have to take any Ubers. You don't have to take a colectivo. It's a bus or anything like that. So you just go. One of the other downsides to this place is just like this bathroom is a wet bathroom. So there's no separate shower. It's kind of just like the shower is in the bathroom. So the floor does get wet every time you use it. But this place I really liked because of the location. Like it's right here. Like it's so cute, so quaint, so like not forgot what time period this is, but I say colonial, like Mexican colonial. Like you're literally right down the street. There's a bakery up here, past this little tree. Across the street, you can get 50-cent tacos. I just really like this place because of the location and the host, definitely made the effort to make it nice. So I like that. But it definitely has like a makeshift kitchen because it wasn't a house before. It was an office. So that's one of the reasons it's kind of like a little bit odd, but I really liked it just because the location was great. The host was great. So the next one I have here, well, I was actually gonna do a different one, but Querétaro. So Querétaro is a very similar vibe in the center as Oaxaca. Very colonial architecture, old style, very much so like what people lived like a couple hundred years ago. So a lot of the buildings are still maintaining their original look and feel. This particular place, I believe, was renovated, but more so restored. It wasn't renovated to look different, it was just restored so that they've kept things updated, but kept a lot of the original architecture and a lot of the original features, which is why I liked it. So this is the downstairs right here, and um this was like the second of two like living areas. Then there's like the kitchen in there. Let's see if we're going in the kitchen. This is the upstairs living area, so there's like TV right there. there's like a lot of like living space here, but it's definitely separated. But this is the kitchen. This is by far the most modern part, and not modern, well, it's pretty modern, but the most updated part of this particular building. You know, they kept the original floors, but they added some modern amenities like a washer. You have a full stove, which is actually pretty hard to find when you're traveling, by the way. A full stove or stove at all is pretty hard. So this kitchen is pretty updated. You have a little eating area. Um, Still definitely like you can tell it's older building because they've kept so many of the original features and they've added like antique features to it that aren't original, but they've added that here. So it does have a very mismatched feeling and vibe. But I really liked it just because it was just really cool and interesting. It felt like you were kind of stepping back into history. So here are the bathrooms updated. All the things you need to be updated are updated. So that's good. Then you kind of have to go outside to go upstairs. So it didn't rain while I was there, thankfully, but you literally have to go outside to go up these stairs to go up there. So it could be kind of annoying just to have to go up and down those stairs whenever you needed to get something from the kitchen or go downstairs or whatever. But this was like an extremely central location. It was super easy to get to everything. I walked everywhere. I think I took one Uber when I was in Querétaro. And then I just walked back the same way I was coming. So it was like super nice. And then there's like a private upstairs rooftop. Let me see if they added. So this is downstairs still. This is the street, but this is the rooftop. Yeah, so it's like a little rooftop. You can go up and hang out. You could always hear like other people hanging out upstairs on their rooftop too. So it's kind of nice just to like have that. And I was there in December, so there was fireworks the first night I was there. One of the nights I was there, they had fireworks for like I think Christmas Eve, and then you just like hear people partying. So it was like really nice. It was really cute. They have little plants and stuff up here. So it was like a really cool, chill place that was just like really weird, but I liked it. So I like either super nice and maybe updated, but also like older buildings that just have some original charm and just like something unique about them. So this one I really liked because of that. And then this, sorry, I'm like messing this up. So I'm trying to find the other one that I had. So yeah, so this one right here is completely different. This is one of my favorites. I've actually stayed at this building twice. It's the only, not this unit, but this building. This is the only Airbnb that I've ever stayed at twice. But again, not this exact Airbnb, just the building. This one wasn't available when I was there. This is kind of like my getaway place. This is in Playa del Carmen. It's this place called like Cobb. It's not in Playa del Carmen, like the downtowny area. It's in Ejidal, so it's like a neighborhood right outside. And I just wanted to save money initially when I did this, but I ended up liking it a lot because it's not in the middle of downtown, and I've stayed in Playa del Carmen. And it's kind of loud. Like sometimes I just don't want to hear nobody. So this place is nice because it has a really nice building. It has like a cute little rooftop pool, but this particular unit was the first one I stayed at. Again, it's nice to have some of these amenities that you just really can't find that easily, like a stove. Um, so this is still quite small because it's like a two burner. But yeah, this is just really chill, really nice. The people I met like the first day, like literally the second I got here, they had just arrived too, and they helped me with my suitcases because I had two suitcases at this time. Like I still talk to them to this day. I don't talk to them that much, but I still keep in contact with them. So it was kind of just a nice memory. This place was just like really, I don't know, quaint. It's quaint in like a good way where it's like it's small, but you can really feel comfortable. It's very neighborhoody, very neighborhoody. There's a rooster who lives nearby who likes to get up early. So that rooster will wake you up every morning. But I really like this place. It's just like modern, new. I didn't even know they had a business center. Did I know that? Yeah. Oh yeah. They do have a business center. I just didn't go. This is my favorite right here. I just like hanging out in this little center courtyard and just looking at all the plants and just sitting right here. Like my second unit that I stayed at this place is actually right behind where this blue chair is. So I used to like enjoy just being out here. So I I just really like this place. It's like really interesting and different. And then there's like a nice rooftop pool, which gets very cold. Very cold. Once the sun goes down, it's very cold. But they maintain this place very well. There's always someone cleaning. It is well maintained, well maintained because the year between my two visits, it looked the exact same. Nothing was janky, nothing was dirty. It had no bugs, so it was really quite nice. I like this pool. I liked up here. I remember the second time I was there, it was the eclipse, and there were a bunch of people upstairs like looking at the eclipse, and this lady like shared her glasses with me. I didn't really see anything because it just couldn't see it over my glasses, and I'm blind otherwise. But no, this place is just nice to hang out and chill. There's like a grill I think up here, so it's just a really nice place for you to be. Has all the amenities. Has a decent gym. It's not huge, but it's decent and it's just very nice. You can walk to like a grocery store. There's cafes in the area, massage therapist. So it's like not super central or super cool or whatever, but I just love being here. It's very peaceful and I really like it. So that one is Playa del Carmen. And then last but not least, Mexico City. I've actually stayed in multiple places in Mexico City, and I actually think the other building I stayed in I like more, but this one has a special place in my heart. This is Escandon. This is Mexico City. And a few of the furniture pieces are different than when I was staying there, but it's largely the same. So this place very much so is in a neighborhood, like a local neighborhood. This is not an Airbnb building. This is not a modern building. It's none of that. This is just like staying by your auntie. um, but it has two bedrooms and two baths. So this is like the living room area. And they've actually updated it a little bit since I last was there. So this is living room. Not sure what happened to the TV, but there was a TV there. I promise that. So you know what I think it is? She just added all her more new pictures because there's so many pictures here. Yeah, like just an unnecessary amount of pictures of this living room. But anyway, so this is the kitchen. It is very red. It's more red in person than you think. It's very much like someone's family home that they turned into an Airbnb. Even like the sheets and stuff. I'm like, literally, this is just like the stuff you left at your house. Like that's how it feels. So out those doors is like a washer and dryer. Is there a dryer? I'm pretty sure it's a dryer. So this place was good because of the location. The location wasn't in like Condesa, Roma, or Polanco where people really like to go, but it was close to Condesa and Roma, so you can just walk there. You can get to everything you need. It's a very local neighborhood. There's like a little market out downstairs, like right around the corner. It's a little market. There's a hospital nearby, and I'll tell you why that's important later. So this place was just like it was just like a good spot to be. The bed was comfortable. You know, you had everything you needed. What I didn't have one day was electricity because she forgot to pay the electric bill. So one day I just had no electricity and it was just off. It was just completely off. And I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, she already did this. There used to be bunk beds in here. That's interesting. There used to be bunk beds, and what the heck is this? No, there used to be a bunk bed right there, and then I would work in here because there were desks. Okay, so this is different. Anyway, so she forgot to pay the electric bill, and I had no electricity for like 4 hours, and she was like trying to call the people to pay it because it was like, I think it was like 3 or 4 o'clock. So if she didn't call them, I wouldn't have had electricity until next day. I was like, girl, you gotta get your life together. You gotta pay your bills. Like, you can't just not have electricity. This tub is huge and takes forever to fill. One time I tried to use it and it's kind of wobbly because what you don't see is the fact that it's being held up by there's two pieces of plywood underneath this tub leveling it. Again, this was just like one of those situations where I had an experience. So there's two bathrooms. I usually end up using the other one because I hated going into this tub. It just stressed me out. So I used the other bathroom. So the other story about the hospital, why I liked being near a hospital, is because I went to Puerto Vallarta, I messed up my ankle badly, grade 3 ankle sprain, and I had a flight to go take right after this happened. So I took the flight back to Mexico City. And when I got back to Mexico City, I realized, hey, I can't walk. Like, I literally cannot walk. So now I have to like actually figure something out. Got back to the place. The security guard saw me. He helped me up the stairs, my stuff, because he's like, oh my God, what happened? You left fine and now you're hobbling. So, fun fact, there's a hospital right around the corner from this particular Airbnb that I had to take an Uber to, even though it's a block away, because I could not walk on my leg at all. So, fun times. Anyway, so this is the bathroom I usually use. This place is modern-ish, I would say, but it very much so feels like a home. So sometimes it's like kind of like an odd feeling, but it had everything you needed. It was a good location. You know, you're on like what, the second or third floor. You just go downstairs and go about your day. But definitely not like the nicest or newest Airbnb, but it did what it needed to do. And it provided a comfortable place for me to be in a cast for 4 weeks. Anyway, so those are my Airbnbs that I was at. I'm just going to like quickly, if I can, I'm gonna quickly just tell you guys the price of everything. So I'm trying to unlock my iPad so I can pull up the prices because I wrote them all down. All right, this is during COVID, so like they're really trying to make sure people know that it's clean. All right, so let's go back. So my first Airbnb that I loved, this one is in Bangkok. Like I said, this was the best price, $740 for a month. I don't know what it is now. I think it's probably like $1,000, but $740 for a full month, 28 days. This one, this is Cartagena. I was here for 10 days, 10 nights. This was $743. So it was 10 nights. Cartagena is pretty expensive, especially this kind of building. So that tracks. Next one we have is Monterey. This is Monterey, yeah. This one's Monterey. This was $386 for 5 nights. Then we have this one in Medellin. This one was pretty pricey, $1,030 for 2 weeks. So I was there for 2 full weeks. This one here is Guadalajara. I was here for 6 weeks. So I was in Guadalajara for 6 weeks. So that was $1,700, and it worked out to be like $1,262 a month. So that wasn't too bad. That's like what I spent on most places. My budget was ideally about $1,200 a month for housing. Obviously, some places I just spent more because that's just what I had to do. This place here was $999, and I stayed here for a month. I think a little under a month, like maybe like 27 days, 26 days. This one is, so this is Kuala Lumpur, by the way. So this here is Oaxaca. This one I stayed for 6 nights. This was $330, so not bad. And keep in mind, this was during Dia de los Muertos, so it was loud, 1, and 2, expensive. This right here, this is Querétaro. So I stayed here for a week, and this was $590. This is Playa del Carmen, which is a pricier place, but this isn't too bad. Especially the second time I stayed here, it was actually cheaper. But this one was $1,126 for 2 weeks. So for a touristy area, that's not really that bad. And if you stay for a month, it's even less money. So second time I stayed there, I think it was like $1,500 or something for the month. Anyway, and then last one but not least, of course, this is Mexico City. I spent $1,721, and that was for 6.5 weeks. I was here for a long, long time. Most of it I was in a cast, but I was here for a long time, and that works out to be like $1,132 a month. Definitely not the same price these days. Definitely not. But you can still find some reasonable prices in Mexico City, just not in like the areas everyone's like clamoring to be. So this video is way longer than I thought it would be. I'm so sorry. Still gonna upload it. Don't care. So thank you all for watching. I book a lot of Airbnbs, as you can see. And like I said, I spent $35,000 on Airbnbs in 7 years. So if you ever need any advice on booking Airbnbs, let me know. My next video, I'd actually plan to go into like Airbnb tips and tricks because there's a lot of different things you can do to save money here and there with Airbnb. But again, thank you for your time. Bye.